Okay, forgive my voice, a little hoarse, but with the turbo mocked up, I'm gonna try to build some of the exhaust downpipe, just get it snaked through there around the strut bar and all that. I have a whole bunch of these cuts that I got from a buddy, so I'm gonna probably tack them all up and then give them back to him to do the full welding, because he's a better welder than I am. Very good, very good. Let's get started. So here's what the downpipe looks like. Where I made to the turbo is a 3 to 3.5 inch expansion. Some pie cuts here. All pie cuts are they're just these little sections that have a short end and a fat end, and they're cut at a slight angle so you can stack them to make tighter bends, and you can also add them to make different angles. So this kind of comes like this and then also kicks off, and you can get a really good fitment with this kind of stuff, but it's a lot of labor to cut them and weld them. So these are all tacked up. I'm gonna get them welded, not by me, just by with someone with a better machine that can do this continuously. But we'll check back in. So if you guys are curious, this is the fit up. It's not perfect, it's not totally done, but this is just how it fits, how close it is to the actual valve cover. It's barely not touching. Probably slide a couple of playing cards in there. It's not touching the frame. About half an inch. It clears the strut bar, and it'll sit just about right there. So it's pretty good. I got some good space here, good space here, good space here. So I'm pretty happy with it, and that's why I use these pie cuts, just so I could get it fitting up exactly how I wanted. I've seen people kind of go up and over the valve cover, but no. As simple is good, simple is nice, simple works. So that's our downpipe. Very cool. I ordered this manifold without any wastegate provisions, and seeing as this turbo doesn't have an internal wastegate, I'm basically making an internal wastegate by putting a hole in the side of the hot side and then welding on a flange for an external wastegate. This is getting a lot more popular because there's not a lot of room in E30 to take a pipe down to do like a screamer pipe or to just exhaust the wastegate gas. But here I am just taking all the measurements and trying to test fit up so I can recirculate back into the downpipe. Here's what we're looking at. Pretty happy with it. It's all tacked up. I'm gonna have to mark this out and then cut the hole and then weld it in, fill in any gaps, and try to clean it up through here, I guess. And then same thing, get this flange all welded and everything. But it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. So many things have changed. I've actually moved and then rearranged everything and all that good stuff. But this project is still going and I haven't really made much progress on it. So I have some tacks on here. We're gonna put this in the oven for a couple hours, probably 1 or 2 at 300 degrees to preheat the whole cast piece. And then I'm gonna lay some fat beads into there, probably put it back in the oven, and we'll weld on the actual piping. Alright boys and girls, we'll just do the finishing on this cover and the turbo that I welded and this downpipe. I'm going to be using a coating called Cerakote in a matte sniper gray, it's called. It's a spray-on coating, suitable for high temperatures. Usually use it on guns and things. But it'll leave a nice finish that's not going to fade or change colors through heat cycling. And the good thing about it is you can already see some surface rust forming on this from after I baked all the oils out of it, the protective oils. And this coating will keep it from corroding any further. But first things first, I'm just going to do some prep work on all this stuff, and then we'll shoot it real quick. Shouldn't be a big deal at all. And this is they have different kinds, but this is the Cerakote that does not need to be oven baked afterwards. Some do. here's a look after all the Cerakoting has dried for a day. All in all, I'm actually really impressed with how this turned out. I am not an excellent painter. I put runs in things. Even with proper equipment and setup, I don't know if I get impatient or what, but this Cerakote lays on beautifully. Like the actual finish and the consistency across the finish is so good, and it's not because I was really good with my prep or my finish or anything. I tried to take my time and acetone clean everything, make sure it was nice and clean, make sure the gun was clean, make sure I was using a right gun, and I filtered out the Cerakote like they suggest. But the finish is so much better than I expected, knowing that it was my first time doing it. So I can't say enough good things about it. Legitimately, I've used quite a few different coatings to do little projects or just aerosol paints, but this was a very different process indeed, just because something about the consistency of this ceramic coating, it lays and kind of clings to itself and the material better than a traditional paint or a clear. So you can kind of just lay it on there, one nice somewhat wet coat, and it won't run. It'll just kind of be done. Like I don't know how to describe it, but it was definitely a good experience, and I'm really impressed with it, to be very frank. Anyway, long story short, good stuff. Check it out. I'll have links to their website in the description so you guys can go and see if there's any colors you like. This is called Sniper Gray, and I really like how it's like a very slight metallic. You know, it's like a little sheen to it, but it's still a matte, so it's a satin kind of finish. And it's a good color. I tried. They send you paint sticks, like color sticks, so you can kind of check. And all I did was get it in the car in the lighting, and then put a color stick there, and then kind of try to Photoshop match the other stuff that I was doing to that color. And this is how I ended up with this one. So good stuff. Good stuff. To do a little bit of finishing, I need to assemble the turbo, and I need to weld on my little plate to the back of this. I made that little plate to go on the back just to kind of finish this off. I'll just tack it in the corners, and then we're good to go. And I'll be able to start assembling stuff, and as soon as this stuff is assembled, I can maybe do a little bit more exhaust, and we'll be ready to fire this up. Aside from my soul,